Hello, all of my crazy, amazing, and beautiful Viking friends out there. It is a beautiful day outside, and today I am inside fixing up some Mongolian beef. Now, if you are new to this channel, yes, I love all these new recipes. I try to make them keto, ketovore, and carnivore, and I struggle sometimes. So when my viewers make a comment or two or three, I slap together a recipe, ruin it, slap together again a recipe, ruin it again. And then maybe eventually, if I could remember to write it down, I write down an amazing recipe that I can use further and show you guys. So, Mongolian beef. I'm not sure where it originated from, probably Mongolia. But if it didn't, then who knows? And PF Chang's, which is a popular Chinese restaurant here in America, they make this fantastic Mongolian beef, but unfortunately they use sugar. So, can't do that. Instead, we're going to replicate a recipe and hopefully make it just as good. Now, this does use some seed oil. So if you are very clean carnivore, very clean ketovore, this does use some seed oils and other things like soy sauce. So I will start from the basics. You can modify as needed and trickle down from there. I start with carnivore, move to ketovore, move to keto, and maybe even low carb. It is completely up to you how you want to do this recipe because, of course, when it's in your kitchen, it is your recipe. So, without further ado, let's make Mongolian beef. So, let's get started. In the distance, shadows on the water. War cry erupts, steel clash sounding harder. Viking drums pound, heartbeats quicken in the night. Call of the raven, signal for the fight. Axes swing, warriors marching, no retreat. Thundering steps, war drums sink, heavy beat. Blood on the fjords, glory for the bow. Stories told in firelight, legends growing old. Legends growing old. So there are different variations, but you really want to dry out your beef strips. You can get steak and then go ahead and dice it up. You could also get pre-made beef strips like I have here. And then you want a hot searing pan of either beef tallow, some sort of grease, or I used butter in a well-seasoned cast iron skillet. You could also use olive oil if you are keto or even ketovore. I wouldn't use anything that has a high oxidation point. I think avocado oil, if I remember right, has a oxidation point, and I can't remember what the temperature is on that. That is out of my range of expertise. But I have about a half a stick of butter in here and then some dried beef steak. Now you could sprinkle some sodium bicarbonate, which is, what is that, baking soda on it. I don't know if that would increase or decrease the flavor. I'm not sure. You could also use sea salt if you wanted to, if you like salt. I have a lot of salt in this dish already, so I don't want more salt. And normally, the recipe calls for a sprinkling or a dusting, a coating basically, of corn flour, which we can't use because in the ketovore, keto, even carnivore realm, that is an absolute no. So even if you use just a little tiny bit of a dusting. So I've argued with a couple of people on that already, and I wanted to take my battle axe. Anyway, that's beside the point. This is searing hot, and we're going to add the already dried, it's not completely dried, they've been drying strips into the searing hot pan, and we're going to double fry them. So this is how I'm going to do it. I lost one. You didn't see that. It's hot. All right. Ooh, that's hot. That's hot. Okay, before these are almost all the way done, we want to take these out again and put them on a paper towel. Like so, so. They're not all the way done. They're still medium rare, as they would say. Okay, now I'm going to let this do its thing. It has made a mess. I can never keep a kitchen clean. I try, but I can't. I guess I guess that's a testament to how good I can cook, or how bad, depending on which way you want to look at it. So we're going to let this cool, and then we're going to add it back in. What I'm attempting to do is basically fry up the outside while leaving the inside an absolute mouth-watering, juicy, succulent piece, and crisp up the outside. So we'll see what happens here. I've only attempted it several times, and the first couple of times I've made quite a big mistake, burning, substantially drying them out. So there's an art to this. You don't want them too dry, but you don't want them completely not dry before you stick into the pan, if that makes sense. So there's a technique, there's an art. It could be easily mastered. Now, meanwhile, all of these recipes, they require sugar. And what do you do instead of sugar? Well, you either omit the sugar completely, which is completely fine. You can completely do this without sugar, or you can use a substitute. For Mongolian beef, they use brown sugar. Wow, that is smoking. Woo! I'm going to turn that off for just a minute while this is cooling. So I bought two different types. This is true. My dogs are eating kibble. They're going to make a huge ruckus in the background. Ignore them. Ignore them. This is a stevia leaf brown sugar. It contains trivial amounts of calories and sugar. Not a significant source of saturated fat, just so you know. It says 4 carbohydrates. So if you are more keto and less ketovore or carnivore, then you could possibly use Truvia. And then there is Swerve. Swerve is quite high too. It's 8 grams of total carbohydrate. It's great for baking. Now, a lot of people do not like the taste of Swerve. It's the allulose and erythritol. It has kind of a back flavor, so to speak. I'm not sure which one would be the best for this dish. Of course, you can always omit either one of these. I'm not sure which one to use today. I guess it just depends. Also, you could use the... I'm trying to think. You could just use another sweetener if you wanted to, if you have monk fruit, for example, and then just add a tablespoon of molasses. It's up to you, however you want to do it. I'm not sure what they use in actual Asian cuisines. But here in the States, we use brown sugar. So today we're going to use a brown sugar replacement. I think for purposes of today, we are going to use... Okay, all right. Now I'm curious now. Okay. I will let you know here in 30 seconds. All right. Versus this. Okay. Ah! Oh my gosh, I made a mess on the floor. Okay, ignore me, ignore me, ignore me. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. This is sweeter. This, honestly, this tastes more like a brown sugar. This doesn't taste like brown sugar, but it is sweeter. This tastes more artificial. This one tastes more like sugar. Which one would be better? I'm going to go with this Swerve. Now, this is not sponsored. I just like to try out different products and then go from there and tell you whether or not I like them or not. And that's just how it is. Okay, so I'm going to use the Swerve. Now, different recipes call for different amounts of sweetness. This is where this really becomes your recipe. You don't have to add any of these ingredients at all. You could just brown up the beef if you wanted to in the butter, and then add maybe a little bit of soy sauce or a little bit of toasted sesame oil. Or if you really wanted to, you could just brown up the beef in the butter and call it good. Now, let's add a couple of different things to it to enhance the flavors. I'm going to also fry this up the second time while adding the flavors. Again, you could pull out the beef at any time and not add any of the other flavorings to it. In Asian cooking, there's a lot of soy sauce here. So I bought the biggest soy sauce jug that I could find in the local grocery store because this uses a lot of soy sauce. So this also could be more of a teriyaki flavor too if you really wanted to. And then I also bought toasted sesame oil for that flavoring. And I'm going to stick to these 3 ingredients. Okay, so we're going to add another half of stick of butter, like so. That's about half. We're going to turn this back on here. Move this over here, right here, right here. I'm just leaving it at the 3 ingredients except for I'm going to add a little bit of ginger. I decided to grab fresh ginger instead of ginger powder, but then it also calls for garlic and onion. So I decided to omit the actual onion, and we're going to use a little bit of, hey, stop. Okay. We're going to use a little bit of garlic powder. I'm not a garlic fan. Okay, so I just have garlic salt. I wasn't prepared for this, I guess, apparently. Holy crap, this is like super hot. Hold on. Make sure you don't burn the butter before you throw everything in. Okay, again, you could just throw in the beef and leave it as is. You could add a couple of things. You can add all of the things. However you want to make this your recipe. The more ingredients we add to this, the less carnivore it is, and the more ketovore and then keto it is. So this recipe, make it your own. I'm trying to make as close of a recipe to Mongolian beef found at P.F. Chang's as possible without all the sugars and the garbage. So, without further ado, I'm going to add back going to add back in the beef. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. Hold on. Let me see. Where did the ginger go? Ginger! Ginger, where'd you go? Ginger. I honestly do not know where I put the ginger. So, we're going to use ginger powder. I bought some ginger from the store the other day, and I just don't know where I put it. So, a little bit of ginger. Okay, hold on. All right, and this is what makes or breaks this whole recipe. We're going to add soy sauce. So before we add the soy sauce, I'm going to mix this around here. We're basically frying up the beef so that the inside stays nice and moist and juicy, and the outside remains crispy. A little bit of soy sauce. Like so. Okay. As soon as you add the soy sauce, the process of frying stops. So now we're going to add a little bit of toasted sesame oil. If you're trying to avoid oils, I understand completely. Just a little tiny bit. Just a little bit for flavor. And then we're going to add the swerve. Now we're only going to add just a little tiny bit. Not even a fourth of a cup. Well, but about a fourth of a cup there. And then I turned this temperature down really low. And we're going to let this simmer for about 4 to 5 minutes on low. There we go. There we go. I'm going to clean up here and then let the sauce thicken a little bit. Now, at this point, you could add, if you wanted to, broccoli or other vegetables if you're keto. If you're ketovore, you may or may not want to leave it just as is. Or, like I said, you could have completely omitted any of these ingredients. I'm not sure how it tastes yet. We'll see here in a minute. I have been simmering this for about 15 minutes now, 10 to 15, and the sauce never thickened. You could add xanthan gum. You could just leave it. Okay. Hans is not here, so I have to try this myself. Darn. That's okay. I don't mind. Okay, is this like the P.F. Chang's Mongolian beef? I made the beef wrong. It's not as crispy on the outside as what I'd like it. So, not simmering, or simmering the sauce separately so that it thickens, and then adding the crispy beef afterwards. I think that's what the next plan is. I might do that next time. Flavor-wise, though, it's actually pretty good. Would I say it's similar to the recipe at PF Chang's? No, definitely not. Does it taste like Mongolian beef? Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the exact copy. I wouldn't say that it's Mongolian beef exactly. It does have a really good flavor. Like keto rice or carnivore rice or shrimp. Shrimp would do good. Yeah, shrimp. Yeah, why not? I got an idea. Hang on. I peeled a hard boiled egg really quick and I'm going to make slices here. Like so. Make a mess while I'm doing it, of course. Of course. I'll do that. Like so. Okay. And then I also put shrimp inside of a saucepan on the stove here. All right. Okay, I boiled some shrimp. And so this would be an amazing dinner. I would you not make noise there, dog? Thank you. This would be an amazing dinner. I would eat this. Let's try a little bit of Mongolian beef with an egg. Mm, it's an interesting texture combination, but delicious still. Hmm. Okay, let's try the shrimp. Okay. Ah, hold on. All right. Mmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. I think I found the perfect combination. Shrimp with beef in this Mongolian sauce. I wish I would have paired the two within the sauce itself. That might be my next recipe. I don't know. I don't know. It's actually really good. I think the shrimp actually does better. Mm, okay. Mm, that is really good. All right. You want a little bit? Here's me. No. Ah. So there you have it, my friends. Is it exactly like Mongolian beef that you would find at any of the restaurants around here? No, it's not. Is it good? I actually like the shrimp better. It's actually really good. Hmm. Would I choose this over going to a restaurant and getting it? Absolutely. This is really good. And I have to admit, there are other recipes that would be better, or you could combine the two, or you could do multiple. Why not? Because, well, this is a journey. Anyway, for all of my new subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. For those who haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It does help me, it helps out the channel, and it keeps me from doing crazier stuff than just walking around with a sword and axe and, Viking-y stuff. So, Anyway, it's a beautiful day out. I've got some stuff to do around the yard, and I've got some other things that I'm attempting to do. So I'm going to eat this, and then I am going to go pillage, plunder, and do amazing things. Until next time, my friends. Keto. Skål! All right, so we're going to add more butter. Really? So I have been simmering this for about 10 to 15 minutes. There is a fly in here, and I am royally mad. Fly obviously likes it. The local grocery. I can't talk right now. This has been. What is with this fly? Oh my gosh. Of course, you can always omit either one of these. Oh. Of course, you can always omit either one of these, as I am not aware of where the camera is right now. Beef has been cooling. Hold on. Okay. It's overflowing. Something out. Okay. All right. Whoa. Hold on. Oh yeah. Not done yet. Cinnamon. Ground ginger. Okay, where is the garlic? Okay, where's the garlic? Garlic. Where are you, garlic? I just have garlic salt. Ugh.